Hey y'all, so this is Mojo's first show, just a little schooling show over at Masterson Park, so just 15 minutes away from where we are at the center, and, I didn't have really any expectations for this show. I really just wanted us to stay in the arena and not have a big blow-up moment would be great. And so these are clips from us warming up, and as you can see, there was some tension, and he was just there. What we can't see is off in the distance to the right, there's a whole soccer tournament going on, so there's lots of yelling and lots of stuff to look at down there. And we're already kind of having problems with that right lead. But here he picks it up great. He's tossing his head, there's nerves, but he's doing the things. He's trying to listen and be on my aid, so I couldn't really ask for too much more. And then we have a decent down transition, and most of the warm up for my training one was just going through walk, trot, canter. I did lunge him before I got on just a bit, just trying to go through all the paces, trying to get him relaxed. And so we enter, and we had gone around the ring before entering, and he didn't really spook at anything. There is, off to the right by that car down there, is a trailer thing with a tarp that was blowing because, of course, the temperatures dropped and it was crazy windy. So there is that over there that he decided to have, an eye on. But we come in, we halt, he moves off. Like I said, he's shaking his head a bit. He's a bit too tense to really move into it, but I thought, this trot is decent. I would have liked to push him forward a bit, but from what I was feeling, I didn't think I could push him forward too much more without having a bit of explosion, so it was kind of just maintaining was what I was doing pretty much this whole round. And right here, he really thought about leaving, and I really had to be like, no, and we have to canter, and so, of course, we struck off on the wrong lead, so no big deal, just bring him back, and then send him off again, and it wasn't really a circle, and he thought about leaving again, but we stayed in the arena, moved forward. He gave me a pretty decent down transition there. And then into our walk, which a little prancy, but he's walking, so I'm happy with that. And right there, he almost halted, but and I wasn't sure if I was going to get any free walk or not. He was actually giving me lovely free walk in the warm-up, but he got a little too tense and had some jiggy moments. But overall, not too bad. He was at least moving forward through the walk, so I was happy with it. And he gave me a pretty decent trot transition there. You can see he's getting distracted. There's another warm-up ring to the left right there, so there are horses over there. But he wasn't as distracted as I thought he would be, honestly. And there he's actually giving me, when he relaxes and goes into the frame and really actually brings his back up, it has quite a nice picture, but he's just very tense through this. And here we circle and do our right lead transition, and he really jumped into that. At the time, I thought it was a little kick out, but he just jumped into it. But hey, we picked it up, so, whatever gets the job done. I'm like, okay, cool, we got our right lead. And then we come around here, and I don't know if he was spooking at the tarp or what, but he sticks his whole butt to the inside. So right here, I'm just like, nope, we're going to move our Hondas in, to the outside, but in towards the rail. So we had a little bit of a fight there, and the judge did mark us down quite a lot for that, but we come in and he caught the foot, but we halt, so overall pretty nice. I was pretty happy with that. Of course, he gave me a lovely free walk going out of the arena, but whatever. And so here is our training 2, and we had about an hour in between both these tests, and I spent that hour just mainly walking him around, trying to get him to relax, and he was walking lovely in the warm-up, just on a loose rein, no jigging, and so I was like, cool, he's relaxing. And before we went in, I did some trot and canter again, and he got riled up again. So I think I need to reevaluate my warm-ups in between my classes. I think by this point, he was pretty done with being ridden. Like, he just felt done. He was kind of angry and was just like, no. So we come in, we halt pretty good, and then we have a little argument there. Not too big of a deal. But all throughout this test, he just felt like he was done, which is fair, at that point. He'd been an hour and a half, even though we were just walking. It's still a lot for him, so I really should have at least dismounted and let him eat grass while we were waiting. But, all things that you learn for the net show. So that's something I will definitely implement this weekend, because we have about an hour between our classes again. So I'm planning on just, as soon as that first test is done, getting off and letting his mind reset, and then hopefully when we get back on, it'll be better. But it's not terrible right now, I'm kind of riding like a sack of potatoes. I really need to sit up a lot straighter, and there's a whole lot of things with that. But at this point, I was just like, okay, let's stay alive. And so here we have, I think he gave me he's tossing his head, but the transition was prompt and we were on the correct lead, so I was pretty okay with that. And we're just circling, doing okay. Of course, he tosses his head like right in front of the judge, but whatever. And that's just nerves, and as he learns a way of moving through his body, that'll disappear, so it's not really a big deal right now. And then we have our stretchy trot circle, which I knew I probably wasn't going to get a lot of stretch, and he actually gave me a few steps of really nice stretchy trot right there, and a little bit right there. So I was happy that he at least tried. I knew I wasn't going to get anything super great, so. And then that transition, this test is kind of weird. The transition's right at F, and then you immediately have to go across the diagonal. And I knew pretty much trying to nail that transition right on the letter for him was not going to happen at his first time doing this test, so we did a bit earlier. And then he actually gave me a lovely free walk right there. Really nice. I was pretty happy with that. Don't think the judge rewarded us that great for it, but I was happy with it. And then we're prepping for a trot transition, and he was prompt and then threw his head up in the air. But like I said, he's still listening to me. He's just his nerves and tension, and like I said, about right now, he just was like, I'm done. So from here on out, it's kind of like just managing him until we can get out of the arena. And you can see his trot, it's not forward anymore. He's losing rhythm. And I don't think pushing him forward would have helped. It was just kind of like, okay, buddy, I know, but we got to get this done first. And I think I tried to ask him for a bit more over this diagonal, just to let him go forward a bit. You can see he's just prancy. He's not using his back. He's not going forward and through. And then right here, so we're cross-firing. And then he picks it back up again and then decides that he wants to leave. And I have to be like, no. And I kind of made a mistake here. I tried to rush him right back into it, which his right lead's already his weaker lead. So I really should have just trotted for a bit and regrouped and then asked. But he picked up the left lead, and I just said, okay, you know what, we'll try early. That's fine. I think I scored like a 3 and a 2 for those, but, you know. We stayed in the ring, right? And then we come down center line and halt, and then he, throws his hips, and I do a quick salute. And then, he was just done. He said, no, I know where the exit is, and I would like to leave. And so I'm just saying, nope, we have to go forward. And I always walk forward, thank the judges when I'm done with my tests, and that's something he has to learn. He can't just leave. But all in all, it was a pretty good outing. I learned valuable things for our warm-up, and he completed his first show, We didn't get good scores and didn't place well, but this was mainly for exposure, and he did all the things, and I'm pretty happy with him, honestly, for his first time out with only about 20 rides on him. I'm pretty happy about it. So hopefully this next weekend goes well, and I'll have another video for you this weekend.